What, your steam train?
Hi there, I'm Paula. I love old cars and I dream of restoring all the barn finds left to rust. I want to show them again what it feels like to be on an open road or a racetrack. That's my dream that I'm currently working on. It's a long way to go though. After discovering how much fun you can have with a classic or vintage car, I didn't think it could get better than that until my mentor invited me on an international tour in Spain. Before the tour, we used Mudley, this XK120 Supersports, as a daily driver. We fixed issues like a fuel leak.
Oh,
Aww. Fuel leak?
Well, no problem.
with Patsy we had a problem with that. You had with this as well?
That was just the auxiliary starting carburetor that was not sitting properly on its tube, so no biggie. But we didn't have time to address the overheating, so we hope for the best and light traffic. We took the ferry from Portsmouth, and since it was my first time, I hoped I wouldn't get seasick. After 2 days, we arrived in Spain, where I met the other participants, and I was surprised by their friendliness. I managed to make some friends, which was quite cool. I did well as a navigator as well, keeping us on the right road the entire time. But did Mudley behave? Not really. The high temperature in Spain and the heavy traffic caused the XK120 to overheat like crazy. At some point, the water temperature gauge needle was on top of the oil pressure one. It was an intense moment, but no damage happened, thank God for that. Mudley had to handle quite a bit. When I checked its health by removing and inspecting the spark plugs, the engine was hot and I couldn't reach properly to keep the socket straight. Did I ask for help? Nope. I ended up cracking 3 spark plugs. Luckily, my patient mentor calmly explained me how to fix my mistake by cleaning the broken ceramic pieces around the holes so they wouldn't fall into the engine. Fortunately, we had spare plugs on hand. The 10-day tour's highlight was me driving this old Jaguar for the first time on the scenic roads in Spain. It felt like a dream. The exhaust sound, the landscape, and Mudley's torque were just perfect. I even missed some stops to prolong the experience, to my mentor's amusement. When I finally stopped at a petrol station, my legs shook and my heart was pumping like crazy. That's my motivation for owning a classic car. Back home, I drove Mudley again at a car show with old Jaguars, where my mentor showcased 2 cars.
This one here now, coming one. Yeah? Banbury, yes.
Put away from me. He took another route, you see? And I was so pleased to see how well the owners care for their cars. Back in the workshop, I did for the first time a transmission and differential oil change on another XK120. This one is Patsy, and as you may recall, in the first part of my diary, we made some repairs on it. If you haven't seen the video, you can find it in the top right corner. Now, back to work. Inside the boot, we found a dinosaur-era fire extinguisher that couldn't be recharged, unfortunately. We lacked a socket for the gearbox plug, so we welded two nuts together to make one.
I'm going to use a rubber mallet. Doesn't matter, we'll wipe it clean. It'll burn off.
The oil looked really clean.
Oh, that's clean oil.
And I use a proper tool to pump fresh oil back in the gearbox. Oh, right on time because we ran out of oil. Okay. Then we took Patsy to a VSCC event. VSCC stands for Vintage Sports Car Club. Patsy won't be racing this time. I think she did enough racing when Patsy Bird owned this car. I'm confident that the Jag will sit beautifully and catch some eyes. On our way there, I was surprised to spot an incredible Ferrari heading the same direction. Such a cool sight. I also noticed a little issue with Patsy. The passenger window tends to slide down. Yeah, so it is confirmed. It is falling a little bit. The window is going down. Slowly. We are at Prescott now, and we decided to park on the grass. What a scenic spot that was.
The exhaust, how close it is.
Here I saw old parts for sale, tasty food, and loads of vintage cars. My mentor even found some interesting headlights for a project. Looks like I've got more projects on the horizon, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any adventures. Betsy's making friends. Now it's time to head back home, and I'll be driving Patsy. She's been a bit temperamental lately, misfiring and refusing to rev if I kept the clutch engaged for no obvious reason. But I'm determined not to let her get the better of me.
It won't accelerate. Look, are not all the cylinders. Do you hear it? With the choke off, it just stalls.
After petting her and giving some encouragement, "Come on, Patsy, you got this," she finally revved up to around 2,500 RPMs and we headed off. It was a close call. She almost gave up on me, but with a quick clutch press and a gentle rev, we made it to the top of the hill. I was so relieved and happy we pulled through. The ride back home was a little tricky since Patsy couldn't idle properly. I did my best with heel and toe techniques.
She stopped.
It's a Starbucks petrol just up there.
Stopping at a petrol station to make some adjustments. A kind lady complimented Patsy and she was quite eager to chat.
This is
It's an XK120, a Jaguar XK120.
beautiful. Quite unique. How old is it?
Is from 1954, I believe, something like that. A female racer, Patsy Bird, used to race this car at hill climb.
You just got the engine thing. Sorry. Yeah, on the hill climb. Yeah.
We then got to work.
That's half a turn on the idle.
Mainly, we played with the first two since we couldn't really find the mixture screws.
Gave a little more idle speed for all three carburetors, but didn't do any difference. So I think the only way is to drive normal. But when I pull the choke, it idles at 2,500, and it's a lot. What do you think it will happen if you give another turn? What can happen? At least we can see.
Right, I'll give it another turn.
So that's with the choke. Is struggling to idle. Was struggling to idle, maybe a little bit more. Oh, if it's not in one way, then must be in the other way. Okay, now we give a turn, half a turn, 1.5 turn in the other direction. See? Yeah, it's good. Smart. You just call me smart ass.
We started by lowering the slow running screws to their settings, then unscrew them by a full turn or two until we noticed that Patsy was running a little better.
Come on, baby. What, your steam train? Come on. Let's see. Idles? Idles.
At least for a short distance, before she started acting up again.
No. Jesus. Come on. Whoa.
The one that's green.
After struggling for a few more miles, we stopped again on the side of the road, determined to find the mixture screws.
I remove a lead when the car is running and nothing changed. This lead and nothing changed. The same. It's too lean, isn't it?
Luckily, my mentor spotted them. We checked the spark plugs as well. Some were white, indicating a lean run that needed more fuel, while others were black, showing a rich mixture. What's going on?
Where the mixtures are.
Ah, this is black. Look. So half of the bank it's lean and half it's rich.
So we adjusted the mixture and tested Patsy's happiness by lifting the front carburetor piston and pressing this small pin. When the engine speed increased just a bit, we knew the mixture was right.
And where is the mixture? Down there.
Tiny little things. Tiny little watchmaker screwdriver. About 2 inches down there. Alright? There. There it is.
Patsy seemed happy and soon we were back at the workshop without further issues. But oh, she's a real diva sometimes. One moment she runs perfectly and the next she's giving us fits. I guess she just needed some TLC. Thanks for watching till the end, and don't forget, take good care of your car and she's gonna take care of you. That's the secret.